Geocachomaniacs.
Geo Gearheads.
Well, welcome to Geo Gearheads. This is a weekly show on geocaching and geolocation games. I'm Chris of the Northwest, along with our illustrious host, Daryl W4.
How's it going, Chris?
Daryl, well, it's going okay for me.
Despite
I still
garage
have all
doors
my
open.
limbs attached, but they're not all in working order.
Well, as long as they're attached, there's hope, right?
Exactly.
Oy.
I'm just going to leave it there. Let people wonder.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like it's been a long week for you as well.
Yeah, it has. Oh, still working long hours, Daryl?
Yes, I am. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel because the weekend is coming. And It's the first weekend in a long time where I don't have to work.
Hooray! Geocaching.
No, family stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It is Mother's Day weekend.
So, hooray, geocaching. Oh, wait. Isn't that what you do when you got family? Yeah, I got to go out and get this. I'll just be right back. I'll run to the store. I'll get some eggs.
No, but we're geocaching podcasters, so we can't go geocaching anymore. Isn't that the rule?
I might have broken that rule this week. Sorry.
Oh, see, I didn't.
No, not this week. Last week.
I'm staying strong. I'm not geocaching. I haven't done any geocaches this month.
That's what makes you a real podcaster.
Exactly. That you don't have time to do the thing that you're podcasting about.
Exactly.
So that's why we bring in guests like Merlin 1392, because he is actually working heavily on geocaches. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, thank you, guys. Who said anything about geocaching? I've been working on this geo tour. I don't get to go caching.
But you're making geocaches.
Sorry, you both talked at the same time.
Oh, I was saying you were making the caches.
Oh, we are. Yes,
Someone
we're
has
going
to
make history with
caches that we go and find.
Yeah. There we go.
So
maybe we'll give you a reason to get out.
Oh, I don't need any reason to get out. I just need the time to get out.
Oh, okay.
You already gave me some reasons earlier with the Adventure Labs.
Did you make it over here for that?
No, not yet.
Oh, Daryl.
I will let you guys know when I'm going to head out that way, but no, I have not had the chance to do that.
All right, we'll do.
Oh, there's a new Adventure Labs in that area, huh?
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. So I'm anxious to give it a shot because I still have yet to do an Adventure Lab.
And you have that one in Sterling Heights. It's like your backyard.
Right. I still have yet to do an Adventure Lab.
Wait a minute. Who was it that issued the challenge last year for 1,000 caches for podcasters?
That was Land Monkey.
Oh, okay. He doesn't count?
No.
Oh.
No.
He can get 1,000 caches on a weekend.
And he seems to be a like professional geocacher or something with all of his travels. See, he does the geocaching for all of the rest of us.
Right.
Oh, okay.
He's planning to go to Texas for the Geo Woodstock. And while he's there, as his rule is, every state or province, new state or province he visits, he's got to make it an even number cache. So he'll get fined 16,000 while he's down there.
Oh my.
Just to let you know those kind of numbers. And that's just wrong.
I would agree with that.
The time to enjoy the caches is what I tell him.
Yeah, and yeah. How does he have time to do all of those caches and to geocache? That's what I got to figure out.
You mean podcast?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
it's like
I don't know. I doubt he's human. I think he's a robot and doesn't require sleep.
If so, then sign me up.
Oh, well, okay. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
I won't be resisting much if it means I get to do that much geocaching and traveling, and That sounds awesome. All right, well, let's get to the actual topic, which is Geotours, because you guys, as Michigan geocaching organization, MIGO, are launching a new Geotour.
We are, and thanks. And that's why I sent you the note. We're really excited about this tour. It's been a long time coming. We started with just a simple note in a simple Michigan radio that the Department of Natural Resources was looking for groups to help them celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Michigan park system. And so we wrote back and said, hey, this might be a really good idea to time to do a geotour. And they were like, yeah, we think so too. So May the 24th, the geotour will go live throughout the state of Michigan. There are 100 parks spread across the 4 regions that MIGO encompasses, and you got 3 years to find them all, so you don't have to find them all in one weekend, Daryl.
Ooh,
That's good, because there's no way I could find all of those in one weekend.
We don't think anybody can, but
Daryl,
we know some
Land
people are
Monkey
going to
can.
try.
I was going to say, Land Monkey will definitely give it a shot.
Yeah.
But I don't think he can.
Oh,
I
Wow,
know it's
so-
going to be tough math, but do you have any idea what the travel distance would be in the most efficient route possible between all of those parks?
a bunch.
Yeah. No, not yet, because we have GC codes for all of the parks right now, but we really haven't put them into any kind of a tool to lay it out. You know, when we were talking about the whole concept with the state, it was based on historical value of the parks. We wanted to get as many parks as we could. Some are just small little parks. They have day areas or rustic parks, and then some are very big and have they already have a lot of geocaches in them right now. So we had to find a way that we could get throughout the state, cover as many parks as we could. And like I said, we wanted to try to match up the parks with the regional alignment that MIGO has. And so we came up with 25 caches per geographic region. Some parks have 2. There's one park here in the Southwest Michigan has 3, only because the park is a linear park. It's one of those rail trails, and it encompasses 3 counties. So we decided it was okay to put a cache in each county. So one of the things that I hope to do when I return from Texas, because the tour goes live when I'm not going to be here, and so I have to catch up a week behind everybody, is to do that layout. But you're going to travel from the far southwest to the far southeast to the far northwest of the state. You're going to see everything that Michigan has to offer.
And that's not a short drive without the caching. So this is quite the project to do all of it.
Yeah, motorhomes are being rented and reserved as we speak, and those people that no longer work for a living are understand that they're starting in the far northwest of the Upper Peninsula, and they're going to work their way all down to the southeast, and they're going to try to do it in as short a time as possible.
Wow. So 100 geocaches in 100 parks to celebrate 100 years. I'm
Correct.
thinking you didn't do this by yourself.
Yeah. I would really like to say that I did, but I would have a whole bunch of people shoot me if I did. So you are absolutely correct. I've never done a mega event. I've done a pretty big event before, but there's been an incredible team of people on this. The MIGO team. Let me just introduce people and take this minute to tell you who they are and what they do, and to give them just a huge thank you to all of this. So there's Lynn Geogin Johnson, Kevin A.G. Hudley Springsteen, Tom I Follow Road Skelton, Stephen Been Here Fritz, Jay Goldfinch Finch, Fred Sludge Shoveler Coles, and myself. So a lot of us are either on the board or the executive committee of MIGO, And like I said, we got an email from the state that when we said, "Hey, would you like to do this?" They sent back, said, "Sure. How do we do it?" And then Lynn Geogen wrote back and said, "Well, let's get the ball rolling." And so the DNR team, we first made contact with Maya Turek. She is the resource development specialist for the Department of Natural Resources. And she brought in Stephanie Yancer, who is the social media coordinator for the Department of Natural Resources. And then along the way, we brought in Lisa Gamero, who is the cultural resource analyst, because we wanted to do more than just have a geotour. This is a celebration. It is 100 years of Michigan state parks. So we have 3 different elements of the park. One of them is called an interpretation pillar. This is kind of this is the main body, the initial impetus for creating the state park system. Then we have something called the CCC, which is the Civilian Conservation Corps. And as we know, back in the 20s and 30s, when work was hard, these volunteers got together to improve the state park and build structures and buildings, outbuildings, and picnic areas and things like that. So along the way, you're not just going to visit a tour. You're going to visit these parks like Dodge Park number 4. Well, that got its name from the Dodge brothers. And, just a small auto company back in the day. They really helped that out. You learn about Governor Albert Sleeper. I didn't know this. A former governor of the state of Michigan, he formed the Michigan State Park Commission. So Sleeper State Park has a geocache. So
that's an unfortunate last name for a politician.
Yeah, it really did. I don't know when he was governor, and I didn't look before that. But so that's the team from MIGO. That's the team from the DNR, and all of these people deserve just a huge thank you and a huge shout out. Because, like I say, we started on June the 1st. That was the official kickoff, and we've been meeting at least monthly. And in the last 2 months, we've been meeting weekly as we get ready to roll this thing out, covering everything that you might imagine that a tour has to hold. But we also didn't do it alone, because the DNR was really interested in making this an official geotour. And they had contacted HQ and kind of got started ahead of us. And when I heard that, it was like, uh-oh, I better learn what the rules are. So I contacted a guy by the name of Jeff Gear Guru Caulfield.
Gear Guru. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gear Guru. And Jeff and I struck up a great relationship that helped us throughout the process, because we were trying to do something a little unique. The DNR didn't want to have anything to do with the caches. They wanted us to do that. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So headquarters will not do a 3-party geotour. They want a one-to-one relationship with the tour entity. So Jeff and I were working, and I was learning about what a geotour was all about, the cost, the benefits, all the nuts and bolts. And long about September, October, I got a call from Jeff, and he said, "Tim, we're walking away from the geotour." And I said, "What? No, you can't. Why?" And this whole 3-party thing came up. So I said, "Okay, let's look at the contract. What does HQ need?" And he outlined exactly what HQ needed out of the contract. And then I went to the DNR and I said, "Okay, what do you guys need in the contract, and can we do something different?" So we actually put in place where MIGO has an agreement with the DNR that we will be responsible for all of the caches. And in turn, the DNR has told HQ we will be responsible for all the caches. So it is a one-to-one between the DNR and HQ for the official geotour, and then MIGO and the DNR to do all the caching, the cache maintenance, the cache hiding, and all of that other stuff. So we were able to pull that together and keep the tour going. So he's been real instrumental in that. To launch the tour.
That was quite the little hiccup you ran into there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And 6 months down the road, we're all excited and HQ is going to pull the plug on us. And so, yeah, it was Stephanie working with their legal team and myself, and we just kind of sat down and said, okay, what do each of us need? And then we said, we'll agree to whatever you want. Just tell us, make this work. So that worked out well. And then to launch the tour, the launch supervisor is Miss Jen, who I think is widely known by a lot of different people, and a relatively new person, Kelly Taylor, K Taylor 211. She's our launch coordinator. So again, it takes an army to build a geotour and get it launched, and those are the people that I can name. There's 100 people that I can't name because I don't know them all, and that's our hiders.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying you personally, Merlin, are not putting out 100 caches throughout the whole state.
Correct.
And the crew of people that you just mentioned, they kind of sounded like members of a gang doing a bank job, the way you read their names.
Thank you.
Yeah. They're not doing all the caches.
Correct.
Are they all MyGo members doing the caches throughout the state? And so you've got, I'm going to assume, at least 75, if not 100 people.
Correct.
Who said, I'll volunteer to put out a cache and maintain it for this 3-year span.
Correct.
Am I right? Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. So early in the program, we put out a survey to the community at large and said, here's this crazy idea we have. Are you interested in participating? If so, let us know. And then we sent out a second part that said, okay, we've gotten a list of state parks. If you're interested, tell us who you are and tell us which parks you'd be interested in. And then as a committee, we got together and said, okay, what do we know about these cachers? What kind of history do they have? How reliable are they? How well do they do their cache maintenance? Just kind of a profile and a behind the scenes interview process. And then we sent out a letter and said, congratulations, you've been selected. Thank you for participating. Here's now what you get to do. And we actually had some people that did not want to hide a cache in a state park, but they were very comfortable building one for us. Oh, so we have some gadget cache builders around the state that have built some caches that someone else will put out and someone else will maintain. So that was kind of cool. And the main thing we told our hiders was, you need to get favorite points. This is all about favorite points. We want it to be easy to find. There is a code word that you need to collect in each of the caches. And the state park has their own rules in terms of how they have to be labeled, how they have to be hidden. Some of the gadget caches we have, the state has to know how to get into it without figuring it out on their own. We have to tell them.
Oh, what fun is that?
I know, yeah. But it's because they don't play the game. Some of them don't play the game. Some were really enthusiastic behind it. In fact, all of the park managers, sorry, I forgot about a group. We have our hiders who are out there. We also have 100 state park managers and supervisors on the DNR side that also have to participate, because our hiders had to go to the park manager and say, here's the idea, here's where we want to put it, or where are the out of bounds places, where are the sensitive places that you don't want to cache. Mm-hmm. And so the land managers have been absolutely fantastic to work with, up and down the state, all over.
Wow.
So
that was going to be my next question is, how was the relationship between the cachers and I guess land managers or park managers. But that's really good to hear. That is really good to hear. Yeah. And so you've got good locations, easy to find. Do you need any sort of pass to be able to go into the state parks?
You do. Yep, the state park system, and this is some of our nomenclature that you'll hear a little bit, because most geotours around the country, you have to get a passport in order to enter or gather your collection of stuff. Well, Michigan has a passport that allows you to enter the state park, and it's $16 for a day pass, or you could do that for an annual on your license plate. If you want to do it, there is a day rate, and I've got that wrong, but I didn't look that up before the show. So there's a daily rate, there's an annual rate to get into the park. And so we have a ticket for you. It is your ticket to Celebrate 100. And that's what you'll collect all the data on.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the Michigan residents, when you renew your license plate, you can get that passport to the parks. It's a little P basically on your license plate that says you get to go to the state parks. And if you don't have that, then you have to deal with getting the day pass or the annual pass, which is, I think, a lot more money if you don't do it that way.
Correct. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how we track the progress, because the annual, or the anniversary of the park system is actually Mother's Day, May the 12th. And there are just a ton of things going on at the park system. Geocaching is just one little element of everything that the DNR is doing for the next year to celebrate the anniversary. So it's going to be difficult to see, is the Geotour bringing an increased number of people to the park as opposed to just everything else that's going on. It would be really great if we could tell them, hey, we increased participation at the park by X% or X number of people. Fortunately, we're not going to be able to do this.
Well, you could at least go by on number of finds on that geocache, knowing that, some of those people weren't going to come unless there was a geocache there.
Correct.
So,
yeah, so we're looking forward to that element of it. And hopefully, because the tour has been authorized or funded for the next 3 years. That's all the funding was guaranteed for. It's not that it won't continue if the funding doesn't come back, but there's no funding in place. So the DNR really wanted to make sure we let everybody know that, hey, the cutoff is 2022. Don't count on it being extended. So it might not. But this has been great. Just the relationship with the DNR and MyGo now. We have tons and tons of other things that we're looking at in terms of trails and waterways, because Michigan has a lot of water and a lot of these things called lighthouses. So we're looking at some other tours or trails that might be added on to part of this in future years.
Nice. Now, with all 100 caches, I assume there's a level of consistency across them. That as you go to them, you said there was a keyword, so there'll be a keyword in a logbook or somewhere on the cache itself. Are the logbooks consistent, or things? When you go to find it, you go, yes, this is the Michigan Park State Cache. I can tell.
Rats! I knew there was something I was forgetting. Yes, I forgot to bring the label to show you. Yes, there will be the state logo, the Centennial logo, will be on all the labels, and those labels have to be on the outside of the cache. So it'll be very clearly marked that A, it's a geocache, and B, it's a Centennial geocache. And then when you go inside the container, we'll have a logbook that is consistent. And the keyword will be on the logbook, and it will be somewhere in the cache. So again, our goal is to make it really easy for a visitor to find the cache. We're going to have some gadget caches, but the gadget caches are going to be relatively straightforward, relatively easy. We don't want you spending hours and hours at a particular park unless you really want to, but you're not going to spend an hour finding a cache in the park.
Okay.
When we first, sorry.
I was going to say, let me jump back real quick to the fees for the parks. So for residents, it's $11 if you get the license plate renewal via Secretary of State. A day pass is $16 though.
Oh, I was right. Okay.
Yeah, so that I thought was kind of interesting. It's a day pass, from what I can tell, on the DNR's website.
Is that for Michigan, in-state
That's
or out of
for
state?
in-state,
Okay.
and it's plus a $5. It's $11 passport fee. So you know what? I think that's probably no. It is for annual registration. So it's $16, but you have the $5 convenience fee for not doing it with the Secretary of State. And then motorcycles.
Who's it convenient for?
It's inconvenient for everyone.
It's a government thing.
Yeah, exactly. Motorcycles are only $6 for the pass through the Secretary of State, but it's $11 again at the parks if you want to do it there. Mopeds, basic same thing.
Half price for half the number of wheels.
Well, $6. Towed vehicles are $7, so I'm assuming that means like your camping trailers and that kind of thing. And then there's a commercial day pass of $17, and that's for 24,000 pounds or a seating capacity better than 16 people.
So your tour bus.
Yeah, your tour bus, but I'm thinking that some of the RVs probably fit into that class too.
Could be. So yeah, you could rent a party bus, go to as many of these parks as you can in a day. Now, I think I found the Michigan State Parks Centennial logo here
You did.
on
Yep.
screen. So
Very cool. For the non-residents, though, there is an online DNR e-store that you can buy annual passes. So annual non-resident pass is $33. For a day non-resident pass, it's $9. Towed vehicles are $7, and the commercial pass is, and this is daily, $17.
sure. Okay.
So there's your rates for those of you looking to come in.
Thank you, Daryl.
You're welcome.
I should have had that. So
Oh no, it's very lengthy cost to get a list of costs to get in. And a resident, of course, we should clarify for anyone who's questioning, it's Michigan resident, so you have to have basically the Michigan driver's license.
right. Yeah, and I think if you're a cashier in Michigan and you don't have the passport, there's your sanity is going to be questioned somewhere along the way, because there's so many caches in state parks these days that you just want to do it. So
Yeah, well, and for those of us in the Detroit area, Belle Isle is now a state park. So if you're ever going to go to Belle Isle and the event where I think this year was like 45 caches were published for the annual event, you have to have that. So it's just worth doing.
right, and I can tell you that Belle Isle will have a Geotour cache on it.
Oh,
Yeah, they've gotten, I want to say close to 100 caches on that island before, but that was before the DNR controlled the island, and they have areas that they want to protect and not have caches at. So
right.
the capacity has dwindled, but there's still a lot of caching to do on the island.
It's still a great place.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about what it costs. We're talking about all of the different caches that are out there. But one other element of the tour is that we've got steps along the way. And if you complete these steps, we actually have rewards for you. So because there are 25 caches in each region, we thought it may be kind of onerous to make people go to every park in every region. So we said, okay, you only need to get 20. So you've got to find 20 caches of the 25 in any geographical region. There are 7 that are marked in each region as being a special park. And again, that goes back to the pillar or the conservation corps. There's something special about that park that we want you to know about, we want you to see, or that the cache is actually going to be based on. So there's 7 of those in each region. We want you to have 5 of those of your 20. So 5 have to be from this group, 15 from this other group, And if you do that, we have a really nice path tag that is regionally designed with the MIGO logo, and it talks about being whether you're from the Southwest or the Southeast, Northern Lower, or up a peninsula. So all you have to do is complete one region, and we have a path tag for you. If you can complete 3 regions, and there's no timeline on any of this, but if you complete 3 regions, the state has kicked in a silver coin for you to collect. And if you collect all 4 regions, A, you get 4 path tags, and B, you'll get not only the silver coin, but you'll get a gold coin from the DNR. I think it's gold plated as opposed to an actual gold coin, but you get the point. And then if you do get 100, then there's a digital souvenir from HQ for you. So there are steps along the way and things that you can do and things that you can get for doing the tour.
Nice. Well, now people are going to want to do it.
Yeah, who isn't motivated by geocoins, especially from Geotours?
Right. And souvenirs have become quite the thing too, to go get that.
Yeah, and you probably need at least a year to get the 100 caches. So make your plans now to get that. And I wonder who's going to be the first one to actually get that. I'm pretty sure there's a few cachers, at least in this area, that are going to make the go for it and get the souvenir by the end of the summer.
We're taking bets that it may be the end of June when the first one comes in.
I would not be terribly surprised.
Yeah, it has generated a lot of interest, and our cache hiders, we're kind of talking about it as all the different events would come through. We made announcement at different events, and there's been a lot of excitement in MIGO this year for a couple of reasons. One, our monthly challenge. That's gotten a great deal of interest for 2019. And 2 is just the Geotour. We're getting out and we're getting excited and getting people out and doing stuff.
Nice. That's great. I love that monthly challenge that you're doing just within your geocaching association. I know others are looking at that as well. Other geocaching associations going, wow, maybe we should do that too.
Yeah, well, we don't limit it to Michigan. We actually have some players in Arizona that are outstate players that are playing regularly. So, yeah, we just ask that you be a MIGO member, and MIGO members get in free. Wait, becoming a MIGO member is free.
There you go.
Something like that. So you can be from anywhere, and you can play our challenge. And based on what you achieve, we have a coveted prize that is handed out every month. So yeah, it's not just for Michigan. And I know Georgia does a geocache challenge on a weekly basis. That's quite frankly where we stole the idea. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, if you're going to be out caching, why not add something to it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so rumor has it that the guy that writes the challenge each month is probably going to incorporate something in the Geotour in the monthly challenge at some point in time in the future.
That leaves your Arizona folks out unless they want to travel.
It might. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, I grew up south of Michigan in the great state of Ohio. Go Buckeyes.
The what? What state?
That
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
That unusual area just below the state of Michigan that you don't acknowledge exists.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to get that in. I think I've been to the UP one time.
Oh, you're missing out.
Now, is it a seasonal thing to get up there? I mean, is it, can you travel? Well, it's April, so it should be better, but are there times of the year that travel through the UP is just not conducive?
I guess I'm going to answer that with it depends on how you travel. If you want to go snowmobile and dog sled, it's really easy.
Okay.
They get summer about 1 week a year, and it comes around late July, early August. and everything else is a shoulder season until September, October, when the first snow comes. And you're right, they had snow well into March and early April. So you need to be a hardy traveler to go up there in the wintertime, but it is travelable. My son graduated from Michigan Tech University up there, and we would go visit, and they actually have a winter carnival in February, and it draws hundreds of people. So you
Who
have to
don't know
enjoy
any
the cold and
better.
enjoy the snow.
It's 100 people who don't know any better. They're
Yeah.
going to go out and do this.
I said hundreds. It was plural, Chris.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, growing up in the area, you go, oh, the UP. Yeah. You only go up there if you have to. That was my interpretation of it. But
Well, growing up where you did, you only crossed that border if you had to as well.
yeah.
So
No, we didn't go up there.
We get that, and the whole Toledo War and all of that
Yep.
stuff.
That's where I grew up, is in Toledo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, from where you're from, the Upper Peninsula is going to look very similar to the Northwest in terms of trees and wilderness and just wonderful beauty.
Mhm.
Doesn't have the humidity, so it's actually very, very beautiful. It's a place
But
to
it is
go.
surrounded by water.
It is.
Yeah. So it should
It's
be
cold
somewhat
water.
humid in the summer is not going to get that warm though, is it?
No, it's about 42 degrees in the summertime. So, yeah, it's really cold up there for the water. But it's a great place to visit, and it's a beautiful place. And we do an event, and not we do, but there is an event on the Mackinac Island annually called the Spring Fling. And it's not uncommon for a lot of folks from Wisconsin to travel across the state and go to that event. So it's easy to traverse.
Yeah, there was a time I did the Spring Fling every chance I got. Well, I still would, I guess, but I can't usually get away. And that was always cool because it was in the Grand Hotel pre-season.
Yeah.
And I
They're
believe it
still
still
holding
is. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still in the Grand Hotel. So for those who don't know what the Grand Hotel is, it's that giant wooden hotel. It's all wood construction. Tim, you can probably help me out. It was built in under a year. Am I correct?
I believe so. Yeah, it was
by
a
one of the
governor's mansion at one point.
No, it was a governor's retreat ahead of the
Retreat.
mansion on the
Yeah.
grounds. Yeah. And it was built by the railroad to encourage travel to the island back when the railroads were doing all of that. And they had steamship lines traveling the Great Lakes. So everyone would vacation, take the train to the steamship, take the steamship through the Great Lakes, and vacation at the island.
Yep.
And it's this really cool, weird building. One of the most iconic hotels in the world. But it's kind of weird being in that building because it is all wood. It has lots of problems with settling. So as you walk the hallways, there's many times you're going up or down that you wouldn't expect to.
I've actually never been to the hotel.
Oh.
I've been to the island, obviously, several times, but never been into the hotel itself. And so I have not been to a Spring Fling. I really want to get up there for one of those just because of that.
Oh, it is a treat. And normally during the regular season, there is a dress code at the Grand Hotel. So as geocachers, we generally can't go to the Grand Hotel.
Right, and in the high season, they also charge to walk on the front porch.
Correct. I want to say it's $15. It is the longest porch in the States, I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
It's got some longest title that it claims to have.
Yeah.
Nice.
The other fun.
Do they have a number of rockers in front of that porch or on that porch?
They probably do too. But getting back to this topic is the whole island is pretty much a state park.
Yes. Except I don't think that made the list.
Oh.
Again, and the list has been long, and we've changed it a number of different times. So I don't think we have one on Mackinac. One of our cachers, Cyclops, has managed to kind of cover all the ground up there, so there really isn't a lot of room to place a new cache. But
No, well, and he had made a arrangement with the DNR back when they were trying to get $75 per cache.
yeah, yep.
Okay, and GSM times 2 says no vehicles are allowed on the island, which is only partly true.
Well,
Horse
no
truck.
motorized vehicles, right?
No, there are
No.
motorized vehicles, but they're like service vehicles and emergency vehicles. And one of the more interesting things is for those of us who have visited the island during the season and enjoy the quaint streets with horses and lots of bicycles. Off season, there's lots of construction. So you're dodging dump trucks and stuff on a lot of those days.
But dump trucks pulled by horses.
No,
Man, come on. I want to see the dump truck horses.
you'd think so. But they
No.
actually pull a lot of the horses off the island off season too. But
Do they
yeah,
really?
yeah, they take them back to the mainland. But the and when we were going on the ferry across, pre-season, there were like 6 horses, I think, on each of the boats as they were taking them back to the island. And they only run a few ferries pre-season, so got to make sure to make your plans well and not miss the boats, literally. And as several of the geocachers will attest, make sure to hold on to your GPS getting on and off the boat.
As you can watch it with the light still glowing as it filters its way down to the bottom.
Yes, many of them have done that.
That's a shame.
So there's like 3 ferry companies, but they always seem to be just the 2 of them.
Okay.
I thought the ferries merged now so that there's only one.
Oh, that could be 2.
I think I read that. Again, it's been a while since I've been up there, but I think there's now one that runs.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, I just looked over one of my notes, and one of the things that is another point is handicap available caches. There are going to be at least a couple of the state parks that the park manager specifically said we want handicap accessible caches. So I know that we're going to have a few of those in the tour. Originally, the DNR said, yeah, can you come up with 100 earth caches? And we quickly talked them out of that because we didn't think cachers would like 100 earth caches. So I know that we have at least one, and I think there's going to be 2 earth caches. A fair number of mysteries, but a lot of traditional caches. So you'll be able to get quite a few different cache types as you do the tour.
Nice.
Excellent. And there's even an event to kick it off.
There is, yes. Thank you. May the 18th at Interlaken State Park. The state has put together, just everybody's going to be there. Geocaching will be there, the horseback riding, the camping people. There's going to be archery, rifle. If you're associated with the state park in any way, you're going to be at Interlaken State Park on the 18th. And the event runs from 12 to 4. We put a geocaching event up. It's GC 8694P as in Papa. And so you can check that out. And we're going to have samples of the path tags there. We'll have pictures of the coins. We don't have those back yet. And we'll have information about the tour. The tickets won't be released until the morning of. The state park will have them. It will be on the Geotour page, and it will be on the DNR's website. So you can go on and download it and print your own copy, or you can pick one up at the state park office and go have a blast.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know, Chris, if you're going to get a chance to come out here for it, though.
Well, if there's 3 years, maybe I've got an opportunity to get out there. Now, I'm not going to be able to do it in a day, but or a weekend. So I might have to plan some time And renting an RV is really not a bad idea.
No, I'd love to do that, but yeah, it's at least I would guess going to be a 2-week process to visit all of them.
Yeah,
that would be really
sounds
pushing
about
it.
right.
Yeah, I think you're still pushing it to do that, but somewhere in the 2 to 3 week range would be my best guess, having not looked at all of the parks and everything.
Yeah. Didn't somebody do all 50 states in 7 days though?
Yeah, but I'm not sure that that's easier to do. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily need to get off and hike or anything. Do a bunch of park and grabs and not get very far off of the freeways.
That's a good point.
So all these are parking grabs, is what you're saying?
No, these are
No,
definitely
I don't
not.
think these are going to be parking grabs. That wouldn't be.
Just getting in and out of some of these parks is probably like half an hour, and there's some of those states that you could probably do in 2 or 3 hours, like 4 states, probably even less than that.
Probably
just
isn't it
just
New
like
England?
drive across the corners of the states, and you could probably get
Yeah, I think that's how they did it, and yes, that was again what we told our cache hiders was this is all about favorite points. It's we want them to be fun to find for all ability types. They have to meet the requirements of the DNR with labeling and visibility and things like that. But ultimately, it's all about favorite points, and they're creative caches. I've seen probably 6 of them that have been built for the Cache Carnival. We did some events up here where we had many of the tour hiders come to the events in the southwest side of the state and bring their caches that they were putting together to put out. And I can tell you some of these are just really ingenious caches. There'd be a lot of fun.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Any chance you could tell us the diversity of caches? Are they all traditional? Are they all gadget caches? That's what we're hoping for, but I'm sure that's not the case.
Yeah. No, you're going to have a variety. Again, I talked about cache types. So we're going to have mysteries. We're going to have traditionals. We're going to have multis. The multis will be short. There's no endurance multis as part of this. Again, people kind of like multis, but after the 3rd stage of a multi, it tends to get tiring. So, 1 or 2 stages to a multi. There'll be some letterbox, at least 1 earth cache. And no, I don't really think you'll see a lot of park and grabs. You will see ammo cans. We did find a deal on ammo cans at both Harbor Freight and Menards had a big sale.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we were able to pick some of those up. Swag will be in all of the caches, so they're very kid friendly.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. Sounds like a great time for everyone. But we are getting late, so let's wrap it up. Did you have anything that maybe you wanted to share that you've learned from this for anyone else who's looking to actually work with a group and put together a geotour?
Oh boy, patience and persistence. You are working with a large group of people, and so compromise is kind of the word of the day. I think you really have to find the common denominator between what's the tour going to do, what's the goal of the tour, and the tour sponsor, and what we can do to help the tour. Like I said, the DNR knew they wanted to get geocaching involved. They didn't know how, but they knew they wanted it involved in the promotion. And so the fact that we have an organization in Michigan really helped to bring credibility to our organization, as well as help them to understand that, yeah, they're dealing with an organization that knows what they're doing. So, like I said, they came up and wanted 100 earth caches because they thought that sounded interesting, and it does to park people, but it doesn't to geocachers necessarily. So we brought the diversity and the suggestions for what kind of a reward should we have, the tiering of the award. So you really have to find that out. And some geotours are designed to be the one weekend, the several hours, the visit our community and check us out. And those are really good. Those are really fun. They serve a different market. This one is more of that endurance. We want you to see the entire state. We want you to experience everything that Michigan has, because the lower peninsula, as Chris said, it's similar to that other state down south, but the geography changes as you go north. I won't say it, Chris. Not going to happen. And it's very different when you get to the northern lower and actually the upper peninsula. So it's the diversity of the state. So yeah, you have to find, why are you doing the tour, and what can you bring to the table? What can your sponsoring entity bring to the table, and then work toward the common theme and the common goal.
So you just can't do it because it's there.
Probably not. The
Wow.
geotours are very expensive.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and if you do it, they will come. Maybe only if it's worth it.
That's right.
So we hope that people will find this to be really, really worth it.
Well, in the next 3 years, hopefully we'll get a large mega event nearby that'll draw people over into Michigan. But you know what? You've got path tags, you've got coins, you've got souvenirs. That's enough of a draw for most of the geocachers right there.
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh, and you've got the beauty of that state up north.
Yeah, Michigan.
The state that's right above Ohio. Yeah.
In so many ways, Chris.
The state that's just north of Ohio. There we go. Hey, I feel a little picked on tonight.
But who started that?
Well, yeah, there's a point there. You're not supposed to bring that up.
Well, Tim, thanks again for joining us, and we'll definitely have you on for one of the many other topics that we'll talk about, including more on the Adventure Labs as we move forward.
Awesome. Well, and thank you guys. It's been awesome. It's been fun. And Chris, if you make it to Michigan, I promise to help you with the tour.
What? You would help an Ohio boy?
No, I would help Chris of the Northwest.
Okay, I can do that. Tim, that's very nice of you. Thank you so much. We're going to have you back on, and we want to hear updates on how this is going. So.
Oh, absolutely. I'll let you guys know, because we're excited and we're hopeful that it's going to be awesome as well.
Yep. Folks, until that time, make sure you go check the Cachemaniacs website at cachemaniacs.com for more on the Geo Gearheads, including show notes for this and all our episodes. We love hearing from our listeners, so leave us feedback by emailing geogearheads at cachemaniacs.com or through the many channels of social media. Your support helps keep the Cachemaniac shows coming. Please consider becoming a patron through the link on our website to support the Cachemaniac shows. Geo Gearheads is produced by Chris Umfenauer and Daryl Wattenberg. The show's copyright 2019 by Daryl Wattenberg. All rights reserved.